The latest market data is in. There's some weird stuff going on. We'll take a look coming up next. All right, what's happening, friends? Here we go with the latest market data for the Big Island. And like I said in the intro, there's some weird stuff going on. So the highlight is we saw residential median price drop for the first time. And I'll go through some details on that, but that wasn't the case with condo or land median price. But what we are seeing is an uptick in the number of properties that are under contract. So we have 820 and there was 1,927 properties on the market. If we click this back a couple of months and we look back in January, there was 702 under contract and 1,987 on the market. If we go back to December, this was the low, 641 under contract. We were over 2,000 at that point in terms of number of active listings on the market. And as we keep going back, we kind of saw that we were hovering kind of above 2,000 and we were under 700 properties under contract. But now that we jump forward to February, very interesting, the number of properties under contract is rising and the active listings are actually going down. Doesn't really make sense. So even though we are still in a very low inventory environment, the number of properties going under contract is about 200 higher than it was a few months back. So there is more market activity, which is still driving the strength of the market because there aren't that many listings in the market. Still very low inventory market. So if we look at each housing sector individually, this is first our residential housing sector for the entire Big Island. The number of sales, as you can see, this is the current, this is in February, this is in January, the previous month, and then a year ago. If you look at the number of sales, obviously huge drop from a year ago. So 228 home sales, 129. And as I was saying earlier, the first time median price we're seeing is lower is this month. So it's 514 a year ago, and it is 459 this month in February. So we saw median price fall for the first time in the residential market. But if we go to the condo market, we are seeing that median price is still up, way down in terms of market activity. We actually had a lot more market activity than the previous month, only 37 sales in January, 48 in February, but there was 85 a year ago in February. But if we look at median price was lower from a month ago, but if we look at a year ago, median price is higher at 554. It was 545 a year ago in the condo market. And then when we jump to the land market, same thing in terms of number of sales. We were higher than we were a month ago, but we are significantly lower, 100 sales lower, 102 sales lower than a year ago in the raw land market. And if you look at median price is still up, almost identical. It is identical from last month to this month, but it is up from a year ago. So sectors of the market overall still very strong. We could just be seeing a blip in the housing market in terms of median price. We aren't seeing a huge crash or anything like that in price, but definitely market activity is very, very low. And if we look at this chart, this kind of illustrates, not that chart, this chart illustrates that, where this is the sales volume, dollar sales volume every month. And then this is the trend line for the number of sales, so the number of units. And you see from a high back here in March of last year, we were looking at 716 sales, and we came all the way down. Last month was actually lower, so it's 285 in January, and then 297 in February. So we might have bottomed out there in January, but still lots of activity in the market. You know, as a team, we saw a record number of homes go under contract in February from one of our lead sources, which doesn't make a lot of sense when we outperformed almost double what the average has been last year. So we are seeing a lot more buyer activity in that segment, and still lots and lots of business going on, just less inventory on the market. That's still a challenge. There's not a lot of homes to see, but when homes are coming on the market and they're properly priced, there's still a lot of buyer demand out there. So it looks like interest rates have they're still hovering pretty high, and are still having an effect on the buyer demand. But the folks that need to get into a home and see a reasonably priced one are still acting. So if you have any questions about your specific situation or your segment of the market of the Big Island, you can always reach out to me, Dylan@buybigisland.com, and I'll get back to you. Or you can always book a link at the Calendar link in the description below. I'll see you guys next month. Aloha. guys.